The headlines: APC says no going back on campaign despite court judgment disqualifying Timipre Silva. Police parade suspected killers of Zamfara journalist. Bandits kill village head, abduct many in Niger attack. French forces depart Niger. US declares military rulers conducted coup in the country. Hello there, good afternoon and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje, says the party remains resolute in the face of a court ruling on the APC candidate for the Bayelsa State governorship election in the state, Timipre Silva. Speaking to State House correspondents in Abuja on Tuesday, Ganduje reassures party members and supporters that the setback resulting from the judgment would not deter the APC from its preparations for the upcoming election in Bayelsa State. Ganduje emphasized the party's commitment to the electoral process despite the recent legal challenge.
Well, it's unfortunate that judgment, but we can say that it is democracy in action. But we learned that the person who took the issue to the court of law is not even qualified because he did not contest with the Silva. Therefore, he's not even qualified for him to take the issue to the courts. However, we are appealing. We are waiting for the judgment and then we appeal on that issue. Well, last 2 weeks I was in Bayelsa for 2 good days and I think they were ready and they are still ready to win the election. Therefore, this is a little distraction anyway, but we will overcome it. We believe the appeal court will give us positive judgment so that, but that will not stop us from making arrangement for the forthcoming election, which is coming up on the 11th November 2023.
Now, ahead of the 2023 governorship election in Imo, residents in the state have called on the Independent National Electoral Commission to ensure a hitch-free, fair and credible exercise. A cross-section of residents, while expressing their level of dissatisfaction over the previous gubernatorial election in the state by the electoral umpire, say integrity of the process is the panacea to political instability. Trust TV's Ajibade Press has more.
Although the political activities leading to the November 11th governorship election in the state are in top gear, not all residents seem to be interested in the poll. Some of them told Trust TV the reasons behind their disinterest in the poll.
INEC. See, as they see me like this, INEC, I don't trust INEC at all. Looking at the last election, you know what they do? You see, as last election take day, they don't do anything about them. So this election, when they come like this, I know even my PVC self like this. I don't even find my PVC like this.
INEC really raised our hopes. You know, during the last 2022 elections, general elections, they really raised our hopes that our votes will count. But what did we have there? I mean, our hopes were dashed.
According to them, past elections held in the state did not meet the expectation of many who fear a reoccurrence, which they say they will not want to experience again.
There's no confidence in INEC. You see, many times we have built our confidence in INEC. You understand what I'm saying? We came out and voted, but still they messed the whole thing. See that somebody will come up and vote, and then it will be counted. Everybody will know. Look at what you got in a polling unit. But when they begin to make their announcement, you begin to hear something different. So the reason why people are tearing their voters card is because INEC has failed and failed and failed. But it will be very good for them to raise up this time.
Effort made to get the resident electoral commissioner in the state, Professor Sylvia Agu, to react to the matter proved abortive, as at the time of filing this report, we were told she traveled. For Ifeanyi Eluwa, the state chairman of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, His confidence in INEC is still intact and as such admonished residents to be hopeful for the best.
Yes, I'm highly confident. The vote of the people will count. I think we have held several meetings, several workshops with INEC, and with what I'm seeing, I'm telling you, INEC is gonna do a wonderful job this time around.
INEC at several fora has assured residents of the state of their readiness to conduct an acceptable election. But many received those assurances with a pinch of salt, despite their desire for a free, fair and credible election. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
Away from politics, Zamfara State Police Command has paraded 2 suspects for allegedly killing a veteran journalist, Hamisu Njibga, in the state. Parading the suspects at the police headquarters in Gusau, Zamfara State capital, the Commissioner of Police, Muhammad Shehu, says late Njibga, a reporter with the Voice of Nigeria, was killed by his nephew, Mansur Haruna, and his friend, Ibrahim Nababa. He said the 2 suspects were arrested when the police swung into action following the killing of the late journalist. The Commissioner of the Police says the prime suspect, Mansur Haruna, has confessed to the police how they struggled with Njibga as they wanted to kidnap him, which subsequently led to the killing of the veteran journalist. The police has also arrested a suspected bandit who specializes in bringing military hardware from Aba in Abia State to a bandits enclave in Kauranamoda local government area of Zamfara State. Suspected bandits have invaded Kauranamoda town, killing 2 persons in the early hours of Wednesday. Eyewitness accounts says the suspected bandits stormed the town, targeting herds of cattle in Kauranamoda local government headquarters. The bandits said to have been carrying heavy firearms shot sporadically to scare residents away, killing 2 persons in the process. According to reports, the suspected bandits rustled cattle from the town to an unknown location. Elsewhere, the village of Zazaga in Munya local government area of Niger State, Usman Sarki has been shot dead by bandits. Now, the village head of that area was shot dead by bandits. Reports say the bandits launched an attack on the village and adjoining communities late on Tuesday. Sources say unspecified number of other farmers, including women, were also kidnapped by the bandits. A source told our correspondent that the attack was launched at the night or on Tuesday night, and the village head of Zazaga, Usman Sarki, was shot dead and many others were kidnapped in the process. Residents say the attacks on communities in Munya, Shiroro and Rafi local government areas have become a daily occurrence over the past couple of weeks. When contacted, the Niger State Police Command's Public Relations Officer, DSP Wasiu Abiodun, confirmed the attack, saying there is very little details about the incident. Police operatives in Bauchi State on Tuesday arrested 3 suspects in connection with the disappearance of body parts in Toro local government area of the state. The Commissioner of Police, Muhammad Musa Awal, disclosed this to newsmen during a press conference at the command's headquarters in Bauchi. Trust TV's Adamu Imam completes the story.
The Commissioner of Police reiterated their commitment to secure the lives and property of the citizenry, saying the command under his watch has recorded success in its clamp down all forms of criminality in the state. While parading the suspects who allegedly specialize in dispossessing unsuspecting members of the public of their manhood within Nabado in Toro local government area, the Commissioner also confirmed that one of the suspects, Yonana Abubakar, collapsed and was rushed to a nearby clinic where he was confirmed dead by a medical doctor.
Arrested suspects were alleged of spiritually stealing a male organ of one Usman Salih M, age 28 years, of Sabangari, Nabado. During interrogation, the suspect confessed to have committed the alleged offense for ritual purposes, which led to the arrest of their gang leader, who died during interrogation by the Prohan. That's the professional hunters. Investigation is still ongoing, after which the suspect will be charged to court for prosecution accordingly.
Speaking to newsmen, the suspects regretted their involvement in the crime. The suspects included a woman who allegedly killed a 5-year-old stepdaughter, accusing her of defecating on her. I steal manhood, and we usually use charm and rub our hands before we shake people. Once we did that, we shake hand, the manhood will disappear. That's all. Whenever it happens, then I hand over the manhood to my colleague. That's him. His name is Beatrice. I will also caution women to be more accommodating in their matrimonial homes, which he said were God's destiny for them.
Offense accordingly. I want to use this opportunity in this particular matter to call on our mothers, sisters, that the kind of envy about the rivalry between step wives at home, we should try as much as possible to reduce it, because this is an act of wickedness. Because you are not the mother, the biological mother of a 5-year-old girl. She stood in her trouser, you beat her, and it caused her death. It's really, really, really horrible.
The police said they recovered several locally made guns, 105 live ammunition, laptops and phones, 2 tricycles and motorcycles which the suspect used to perpetrate their nefarious activities within their base. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Well, I suppose shaking hands with strangers is no longer an option now. Now, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, has reaffirmed the commitment of the Nigerian Army towards ensuring peace and stability despite the current security challenges in the country. The Chief of Defense Staff also charged frontline troops to eliminate the threat of Boko Haram and ISWAP in northeast Nigeria.
It is the first operational tour by the Chief of Defense Staff to Borno State for debriefing by Operation Haɗin Kai Theatre officers on its activities. After a closed-door session, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, told journalists that the Army will restore total peace in Nigeria. He said those under the captivity of terrorists will be rescued.
It is our desire, and as mandated by the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, President Bola Asiwaju Tinubu, for us to ensure that there is total peace in the Northeast. And by saying total peace in Nigeria, those that have been kidnapped, we are making every effort to ensure that we restore them back, bring them back. And to the criminals, their days are numbered. It's just a matter of time. We are going to get them all. So for their own sake, we advise them to surrender or fizzle out of the country completely.
The defense chief paid a visit to hospitalized troops at 7th Division Hospital. He later addressed frontline troops of Operation Haɗin Kai in the Mai Malari cantonment, where he charged them to eliminate terrorists before being posted to another theater. While assuring that their welfare will be addressed, warned the troops to desist from drug abuse, which he said is the handiwork of enemies of the country.
As we are getting more recruits into the system, both the Army, Air Force, Navy, and other paramilitary, we will ensure that nobody stays more than 2 years, so that you come and do your own bit and go. And it is not just to come and sleep. You come and make sure you look for Boko Haram and kill. Anybody who comes to theater and finishes without killing one Boko Haram is not complete. So you must make sure before you go, not be so. That's the only way we can finish them. Look for them.
It is believed that the visit of the Chief of Defense Staff, the theater, will lead to positive changes in the coming months.
Residents in Asaba, the Delta State capital, have called for an alternative dispute resolution mechanism between organized labor and Nigeria's federal government. A cross-section of residents speaking to Trust TV say industrial action is a counterproductive effort that undermines Nigeria's development. Trust TV's Jonathan Awanyai tells us more.
Strike action is one of the fundamental means available to workers and their organizations to achieve their economic and social interests. It is the most visible and controversial form of collective action in the event of a labor dispute and is often seen as a last resort of workers' organizations in pursuit of their demands. In Asaba, Delta State capital, residents who spoke with Trust TV opined that continuing on the path of dialogue will be the best option for the economy, especially at the state level.
Going into socio-economic policies, how to partner with federal government and state government, partner with civil societies and NGOs, engage, work on solutions, bring NGOs on board, international NGOs and domestic NGOs that will get our people off the streets.
Commend their efforts. They really tried, at least the little increments, but they should not narrow it only to civil servants. They are more conscious of the civil servants. You know, we are civil societies, we are neither here nor there. We say it as it is.
On the recent suspension of the planned nationwide strike for 1 month by organized labor, they said it was a welcome development as embarking on strike was not the best option as it would compound the present sufferings of Nigerians.
To offer what labor is requesting for. There's no need going on strike. No. If you are requesting for something and the government decides to say, okay, I will offer you this. This is what you are looking for. I will give it to you. I must, to some extent, commend Ajeru-led NRC for the noble idea to stop the strike, because strike has a very negative impact on the economy.
So because we can always meet at the round table, and if our demands are met, then what's the need going on strike? You understand? Because the strike, when you say strike, so you should totally shut down the system.
However, to some others, when dialogue and lobbying does not yield results, strike becomes the only way workers can channel their grievances. Jonathan Awanyai, Trust TV News, Asaba.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead. We talk about mental health and its cost on Nigeria's economy. Details of this and many more coming up ahead after the break.
Hello guys, welcome to Showtime.
I don't even believe there's any other industry that will handle me like movie industry.
Yeah.
I told you I'm deep and soaked into movie industry.
In secondary school, there's Fatima and Mariam Adamu, and then we sort of took the names of the characters in that cartoon.
I think entertainers themselves need to wake up and smell the coffee and say, diversification is the way to go. Yes, you can sing or make great beats or act in a film, but what else can you do?
I became one of the best makeup artists in Nigeria. I won AMA Award Best Makeup Artist.
Do you think we are carrying the fool too? When I talk to you, you start straight. Attention!
Welcome back to the news and thank you very much for staying with us. Here's a quick recap of our top stories at this hour. APC says court judgment disqualifying Timipre Silva will not stop the party with its preparations for the 2023 governorship election in the state. Police parade suspected killers of Zamfara veteran journalist. The House of Representatives has urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to implement monetary policy adjustments that will stabilize the naira from its slide against the US dollar and other major foreign currencies. Following the adoption of a motion moved by Ismaila Haruna Dabo at the plenary on Tuesday, the House stated that the Apex Bank must address speculative activities in the forex market and increase the withdrawal limit of the naira to reduce the demand and pressure on dollars and other foreign currencies in the country. Presenting the motion, he recalled that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had in June this year announced changes to the country's foreign exchange market through the Central Bank of Nigeria to allow foreign currencies to be bought and sold at rates determined by the market and not the central bank.
Urge the Central Bank of Nigeria to implement monetary policy adjustment to stabilize the currency, address speculative activities in the forex market, and increase the withdrawal limit of naira to reduce pressure on dollars and foreign currencies. Despite the regulation,
putting pressure on our currency today is that we are import dependent. Nigeria is depending so much on everything. We import everything into this country. And we need to encourage agriculture by all means.
What are the politics can do that will bring about import substitution and export promotion? That's the only thing we can do that will give us opportunity to have more foreign exchange. And we cannot be a producing nation if we are still having power problem in this country. We cannot, there's no way we can produce.
Those in support of the amendment, the motion as amended, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it.
Health is wealth, and that is why medical experts believe that poor mental health among Nigerians without proper care could lead to a decline in Nigeria's GDP. A Kaduna-based consultant psychiatrist says mental health issues, if left unattended, could negatively affect the productivity of individuals, limiting their contribution to national development. The clarion call is part of the theme marking this year's World Mental Health Day. Bello Musa has more.
It is a day to promote mental health and well-being worldwide, create awareness on mental health challenge, and show the importance of mental health. According to statistics, 1 in every 4 Nigerians, an estimated 50 million Nigerians, are living with mental health challenge. As the economic realities in the country worsen, experts fear that the situation may lead many to mental crisis due to increased physical and mental stress.
Now, social factors are things that happen to individuals that are not directly related to the person, or they are not directly in the control of the individual. For instance, having a job, having shelter, having feeding, regular feeding, finances, having a job, having this basic social security. Now, once any of these things are any of the social security pillars, how would I say, they are hindered, or they are affected, or they are adversely affected. Now, what this means is that that particular individual might end up not being productive in the country because he's not earning, he's not making money, he's ill, he's sick, he's not able to actually live a productive life.
It is commonly believed that drugs abuse and sickness of the mind are the major causes of mental illness. However, there is a poor perception of health challenge in the country.
Now, for individuals that eventually get identified, they have this fear that when you go for psychiatric treatment, you'll be labeled. And truly, our society does that. Once a family, someone in the family has had a psychiatric illness, many people actually shy away, or they avoid allowing their own maybe relatives to marry into such families or associating with such individuals. In some communities, the family may even be labeled as a witch family.
Though they are commonly found on the street, living in poor and unhygienic conditions, these vagrants constitute a small fraction of people with mental illness.
20 million individuals are walking around with one form of mental illness or the other. Now, the individuals that have the conditions that may lead to such vagrancy, living on the streets, eating from unhygienic places, hoarding rubbish, talking to themselves, belong to a very small fraction, less than 1% of the population.
According to her, identifying mental illness and seeking appropriate treatment can prevent complications. The theme for the World Mental Health Day 2023 is Mental Health is a Universal Human Right. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Right, French soldiers have begun departing their bases in Niger Republic with the first convoy of troops escorted out of the country by Niger's military as it traveled in the direction of Chad. Authorities in the capital Niamey say in a statement. Pickup trucks and armored personnel carriers laden with French soldiers drove to the dusty outskirts of Niamey on Tuesday, marking a departure demanded by Niger's military leaders who seized power back in June this year. In a statement read on state television, Niger's military called on citizens to cooperate with the troops' movement, which is said would involve some of the 1,500 French soldiers leaving Niger Republic by road to Chad, a journey of hundreds of kilometers through sometimes insecure territory. In addition to the departure by land, 3 special flights have been registered at the airport in Niamey, 2 for the departure of 97 Special Forces elements and 1 dedicated to logistics. The withdrawal of French forces was swiftly demanded by Niger's new ruling generals after they took power on July 26th, with French President Emmanuel Macron then confirming their departure at the end of September. Well, that's it. You're up to date with the latest news stories at this hour. Feel free to follow us across our social media platforms to catch up with more content, and you can visit trusttv.com for the latest news. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for your time. I'll see you later.